There we go. What's going on, traders? I wanted to go ahead and run through today's 28 pairs. I'm going to try to make this video pretty short. I doubt that'll happen. I haven't gotten that good at this yet. But anyways, I'm going to run through it. Take a look. Here we go. Let me see. USD JPY. I'm looking at the daily chart first. That's where I want to start. We saw this like wedge shape kind of showing up, and we drew this a while back, I want to say a couple sessions back, but anyways, it kind of converged at this point. These orange lines are key support resistance areas, and it bounced off of there like a charm. So we saw the setup day on the 13th, and then on the 14th kind of like a confirmation and then a drop. On top of that, we have a MACD right here sloping downwards. This is kind of sloping downwards, but also kind of not really downwards, I wouldn't say. Again, it's just a wedge, but it is showing like a exhaustion of this kind of upward move. Slow, little by little, you see it kind of oscillating upwards. Anyways, when I drill into this, there's nowhere for me personally to take the trade. I did notice this touch on that same key resistance area, and I circled it actually. This is a good area to get in at. And then again, we had this on the 14th, it looks like. Let me see, make sure I got my dates right. Yeah, so this is the 14th. So on that same 14th, on that same day last week, we had this kind of gosh, somebody in the comments correct me. I think it's called a hangman or a hanging hammer. I'll look it up after this. But again, man, I'm not perfect. I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm not trying to be a know-it-all. I'm just kind of going through my process. But there was an opportunity to drop in here, to get in right here, have a really, really safe stop up in this area, and drop that in for probably like a 2% gain or so. It would look like this if you kind of measured it up, kind of look at recent lows ish. We're looking at like a 2.5% trade. And then obviously, if it hits that level or gets close to that level, maybe we just set. What I love doing, to be honest, and I don't know if it's the right thing for everybody to do, but this little plus sign, I like hitting that, and then it makes an alert for me, and then it lights up like that. So anytime that price hits that level, I'll get like an email that tells me to look at my chart, pretty much, instead of having like a price target, like a limit order right here, actual taking profit. Maybe instead I just pay attention, and I get an opportunity to kind of ride this down, which could have been huge. And literally where we're at right now on price, that makes this almost a 5% trade. So 5-to-1 risk reward ratio. You do that often enough, you don't really need to trade every single day type of thing. You're looking every single day, but you don't have to take positions unless they are favorable. Anyways, let me go back. This is previous lows. That's kind of why a previous pullback, at least, why I picked this area for the initial target. So 2.5 is where I was at. So let me just go ahead and give it that. Boom. So we're right in here. Anyways, kind of a risky entry. I would rather have seen the pivot point up here and the 50 EMA also up here, kind of acting as support to a downward move. So on the opposite side, meaning that in order for it to break through, it would have had those barriers for the price to go up. But I kind of missed that one. This could have happened, and it happened at 7 o'clock this morning, roughly. So definitely should have been able to catch that. Did not. But that's a whole nother story. And I owe you guys a YouTube video about it because I said I would. Anyways, so now USD CAD, there's nothing on USD CHF for me. Kind of indecisive, nothing MACD wise. Nothing on the larger time frames, so I kind of just ran through it. It looks like it wants to pull back a little bit. It looks like an old fib level that I drew here. Went up, pulled back just a tad. Not enough for me to pay attention though, to be honest, man. I tried to draw this in right here, and it did kind of pull back to that area and drop down. It's really not dropped down, it just kind of went sideways. Well, no, that's a lie. It went sideways here, tested this area 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Finally came down with this huge bearish engulfing candle. Went down past key resistance area and kind of touched on a extended fib level that I really like paying attention to. So not the strongest rebound off of that. There was this bullish engulfing, but there wasn't like a hard push towards 618. But if I did take something like that, man, typically it would look like this, just so you guys know. I'd be here, and I'd be aiming at my fib level. This stop would be after the other extended fib area. This is a daily chart, by the way, so this could be a huge trade if we drill down into it into the intradays and like timed it up and synced it up. That's how I use the intradays. That's what I really like about the intradays, is you can kind of pinpoint and really tighten once you already kind of understand the direction that the trade will likely go. You can kind of tighten up not only your stop but your entry, and also obviously your target. Okay, anyways, on to the next. And hit me in the comment section if I need to go deeper into any of these plays, just to kind of really analyze things. I don't mind that at all. This one's been going up for a while. USD CAD 1, 2, 3 months. It's been green. Several weeks. One red week, mostly green weeks. And then if I go to the daily, I kind of see that story some more. I drew 2 trend lines because I didn't feel the most confident about that first one. I remember that. Let's see if I can extend this real quick. Something like that. Whatever. And it is whatever because I don't necessarily trade off of these lines. I just like to point out that there's a trend going on here. So, something like this candle kind of telegraphed that there's going to be like a slight pullback to these areas. So then I could have dropped in and took this long. So let's kind of look at that. That's on the 13th. So if I go to intraday chart, hourly chart, and I go to the 13th of December, see if there was actually an area where I could have jumped in successfully and like, took it up. Nothing here. This is that pullback. This is on the 11th. So notice how crazy this is whenever you start to see it. So on the 11th, which is this, that's where that candle formed and it pulled back. Huge red candle the following day on the 12th. So if we look at that like this is it. This is the, I'm sorry, not that one. 11th, and then this is the 12th where it just dropped down. So right here where this green line is, blue line, that's the new day. So right in here is the new day. And there was a huge pullback compared to where that day started right here. And then there was just this crazy drop. No real clean entry based on the pivot. But then there's kind of an entry here, but it's not like a pullback entry like I like to take. This is just kind of consolidation, and it's kind of slowly inching up. Nothing on MACD that really shows me that it's, what direction it's going to go. There's better trades out there, so I did highlight that because I wanted to show y'all that. Okay, I'm going to try to speed through these. First glance, huge green candle last month for NZD/USD. Kind of sideways based on the weeklies. Daily, you remember it broke through this triangle and then it ended up kind of rolling over, it looks like. This MACD looks like a double top, even though we don't see much of a double top here. It's kind of lopsided, but maybe we have a market that wants to roll over. This does look like a market that wants to roll over, okay? So it looks like I drew a trend line and we were going up for a while. It kind of broke through that, came back, touched on the bottom side of the trend line, which you'll see the market do a lot, actually. And it went down like violently. Nothing clean here to enter, but notice how it came back, went, how it dropped violently, and then it pulled back a little bit here. So maybe there's an entry right in here, and that would look like this. And my profit target would be, I don't really have a really good one, do I? I'll just go to the SR level, 126. So, and I might be able to get away with squeezing this down and doing something like this, but that's, more risky than probably need to be. All that for 2%, squeezing it down. Yeah. Not something I want to take, but I'm gonna watch it overnight and just kind of let's see this. I'm going ahead and put a prediction in here just so y'all see that. We'll go over it tomorrow. So what I do like seeing is whenever the base currency has a certain direction in mind. Clearly, this is down. Clearly, there's a rollover here. Let's see what the daily looks like. Yeah, clearly we were at a key level and then fell down 2 days in a row. So that was Friday, and then today, obviously. Yeah, so downward momentum here. This is the next pair, NZD CHF. There was a downward move here, not a clean entry, but there was a huge move down. This is it, man. Look at this, down, down. And then this one's actually coming up a little bit higher. Probably, maybe it'll go down there. Let's see where the 4 hour. So I like looking at the 4 hour 50 EMA as kind of a test of if the market still has a chance to drop. It's kind of a fun way to do that. But, it's just something that needs to happen, something that you want to pay attention to as far as is there a chance for it to do what you think it might? All right. So 4 hour EMA or 4 hour 50 EMA still has hope. Maybe it'll bounce off of that area. I don't know, but we're going to watch it. And again, the other pairs do say that it's going to go down. So NZD, CAD overall, or NZD pairs overall, I think we're bearish there right now. You heard it here first. Probably not, but you heard it here. NZD, I'm sorry, GBP, USD, kind of like a slow downward move on the monthly, weekly, kind of showing the same thing, except for we got that's a big candle for 12th of December, big engulfing, bullish engulfing, and so I'm not so sure about the direction here. Nothing standing out here. We broke this little channel that was created to the downside pretty hard too. But then we kind of tried to retrace, come back to it, see what that 50 EMA. You see this? This is crazy how it works sometimes. So 50 EMA is being respected. The 4 hour 50 EMA got respected here when the breakthrough happened. It wasn't being respected in the channel very much. You see that right here, we're touching it. The body of the candle's not breaking it. That's what talking about when I say break. So the wick, that just means that price traveled beyond here. But at the end of the day, this bar closed right here where the top of this body is, meaning they tried to go past and they couldn't. Then they tried here, and so on and so forth. So maybe we do have a downward move here. Let's check out the next pair. So this is similar to NZD. We just looked at NZD pairs. So the GBP pairs maybe they're similar, but right now I'm going to assume that if the GBP pairs are kind of correlating, then NZD is a better trade if we're going to go short. So let's kind of look at everything else real quick. So last month there was a big downward move. This month we touched that extended fib level and bounced off of it. We're still there. It's only been 2 weeks. No, it's been more than 2 weeks. I'm tripping. 1, 2, 3. This is the third week of December. Kind of a, I wouldn't say a reversal candle, but definitely an indecision candle. And then this is more of a reversal looking candle, the long wick. And then maybe we bounce here. Let's look at the daily. Daily, along with this MACD being so leveled out here while it's going down there. So when the price is going down on MACD, it's kind of leveling out. I'm looking for a reversal. So I'm looking for a bullish trend here. So again, this is opposite of GBP USD, where we just looked at, which is kind of trying to go down, but not quite. And this one looks like it's breaking through. So all those pairs don't really add up. So let's take it a step deeper. Why not? GBP NZD means that they're NZD is the cross currency here. So if GBP goes up relative to NZD, NZD is going down relative to GBP. NZD, we've already established the rest of the pairs. So NZD as a base currency, the bias is towards being bearish. So that this thesis adds up. You know what I'm saying? We're going up GBP, NZD. Maybe I'm going to look for a good entry. Maybe take that long while I take the NZD base pairs short. We'll see. So let me go ahead and highlight that. Let's see what we got on GBP, JPY. Kind of mixed bag on the last couple of months. Kind of a mixed bag on the weekly. Slightly bearish, I'd say. Daily, we just rejected the 618. We went past it, came back, and rejected it slightly. It wasn't like a big pullback or anything. Respected the 4-hour EMA or 4-hour 50 EMA after breaking it and living above it for a little while. Came through, bounced. Looks like it might roll over. I don't know. This is a little bit out of whack, but I wouldn't call that divergence. But it is out of whack. Interesting. So, no real entry. I don't know how I feel about this, so I'm not going to talk on it, but or speak on it. But I will say I'm paying attention to this 200 EMA. This is the 1-hour chart again. This 200 EMA is kind of holding steady, so it's similar to what the 4-hour 50 EMA is here. As you can see, the correlation. Anyways, whatever. Nothing crazy here. No trade here, but definitely not making a case for GBP all having those currency having their mind made up. And that doesn't happen 100% often, and you can trade it whenever different GBP pairs are going different directions, obviously. But when they're all lined up going the same direction, it's just a strong sign for probability, in my opinion. It's a bounce off of the extended level, but we're still red this week. This is that bounce that we just showed on the weekly chart. We got a couple red. I don't know that doesn't look, it looked like a strong reversal here with this bullish engulfing, but now we're kind of a little bit sideways. Let's see if we got some good. We're at a weird level because we are going to have to break that 50 EMA, so I don't think it's going to happen unless we have a really, really strong move on the 1 hour. And you see how this is, man. This isn't anything that's really concrete or showing you a good direction, so we see that. Okay. GBP CAD. Let's try that one. These look like reversal candles after it's kind of hung out here. Let's see if I'm right. For weeks we've been sideways-ish, kind of indecisive. This daily chart, nothing strong, man. Nothing strong that I would want to trade off of personally. I just don't see. We see a break of the 50 EMA. We see it hanging at the 200 EMA. This is a 4 hour, so that's usually a big deal whenever they break the 50 EMA. But this 50 EMA for this particular pair has not been respected anyways. So you can't use, just because you have the same tools for all your charts doesn't mean they all apply to every single pair the same exact way. Each of these currencies, like whenever you trade different stocks, they all have different personalities. So you just got to kind of learn them. And a lot of this is why I don't like CHF crosses, Swiss franc crosses personally. They're kind of all over the place. Not the neatest. I don't feel any kind of way about this. I know I'm not going to trade it. That's it. I know that I'm not going to trade that. Big bounce here, drop down, and then we got here this month. We are sideways for the past 3 weeks. Daily chart, we are beyond the extended fib and trying to climb our way back. That's a good sign. We're above the 50, 4 hour 50 EMA. Maybe my entry was Friday. I don't know. This is the 14th. Maybe that was the best entry. We'll see. Let's look. Man, the market wasn't really like, yeah, it was pretty down. Okay, cool. That's why I like zooming out. So we were down, and then we had like this double bottom. Came up right here. Came back. This is a pullback that you could trade. You get in right here. Your stop loss is down here. Go ahead and draw this in as a missed entry. These are all going to be missed entries because, quite frankly, I'm still trying to make sure I get my money right and can trade full time, which I owe you guys a video on that as well. But that is in motion. Don't get it twisted. Okay, so dropped in, could have got in off of a pivot entry that would look something like this, ish. And then I would drop that right here, and my target would probably be around here, above, right around where the drop originated really, and that's only a 168. So y'all know how I am. I probably wouldn't even took it. There was a little bit of breathing room where we saw this pull back, and then we saw these small candles signify exhaustion. So I really like this entry. I really, really do. Maybe I can push this a little bit. I don't know. I probably take this anyways, man. This is not a bad trade at all. And you're getting started at the double bottom here, so maybe you have a lot more legs than this. Because if I zoom out, we see all the way up here. So not to say that it's going to go straight there, obviously, but maybe this is the beginning of a combo trade. I would rather seen like something that looks like this. So let me circle this so you guys can see it. I always screw this up. Here it is. So I want you guys to notice. Just go find this on your own chart, really. It'll be worth it. You see this? You see that all these red bars, these are hourly bars, and how they shaped and the progression and how they kind of slowed down here. This is a great pop up and then pull back, slowly enter, and then I'm in the red a little bit right here upon entry, obviously, but it's been in the green since then. And this is my personal entry. This is what I like to enter on the pivot. So there's a beautiful opportunity to do that here, obviously. And so I'll go ahead and mark that one. This is a trade that I think is going to be the beginning of a combo. That's what I was saying. So Euro USD, let's see what this pair has for us. Pretty red on the monthly for the past couple months. Weekly's kind of sideways right now. Dailies very sideways, obviously, because the weekly was. That's how that usually works out, at least. Where's my 50 EMA? You see this? Is it acting as a barrier, though? No, not really, man. It's kind of all over the place. It's being respected, but it's getting broken a lot. And yeah, that's kind of oxymoronic. I don't know. I don't know on this. There's no entry anyways. There's nothing clean here for me to personally, with my style to trade. Even here, this looks nice, but I don't think I would have been able to say, oh, this is a pullback and I'm going to take this short. There was nowhere else that really told me that this was about to drop off like that. That's a big move too, right here. Euro USD, monthly on Euro Japanese yen, kind of hanging out at this key level mixed with this 50 EMA for the monthly. See what the weekly got. Key level 50 EMA is above, daily 50 EMA is above key level, so we're sandwiched in between with the price action. You can kind of see it staying in there sandwiched. We're here again. There's a 50 EMA above price action right now, so if I wanted to go up, I'd have that point of contention, and yeah, it's been respected once right there with that big doji candle. So we've saw a drop down, pull back. Maybe could have took this short, but would have had to suffer, had to bleed a little bit, 1, 2, 3 hours or so, 4 hours. You're gonna be bleeding before this one actually turns the direction you want it to. And there's also no like obvious trend here. It's very sideways and kind of pinballing within a horizontal channel of sorts, if you will. So I could draw something like this. I'm not going to leave it, but just for what I'm talking about sake, something like that, pinballing, boom, 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 boom. You see that? Okay. Anyways, Euro, that's Euro JPY, Euro GBP. A monthly is rejecting, coming right off of a rejection of a key level. A weekly is also there and above the 50 EMA. Daily is well above the 50 EMA and also that key level. Let me zoom in. Let's look for an entry. Was there an entry? We're above the 4-hour 50 EMA. That's all good signs for a bullish move, a bullish run. So I think this is that first time it bounced off of that level, and it's been up for a while ever since. No, I'm looking at the blue lines, trying to see if there was like a good entry anywhere here. I don't notice any. And that's on the 4-hour chart. Now on the hourly chart, maybe I can see something that I didn't see in those other places. Something like this, but again, going into this, so you pretend like you can't see where it went, but going into this, there's no real like signs that I should have jumped in. There's no pullback, there's none of that. So maybe right here, but that wouldn't have triggered. This would not have triggered a pivot entry because my pivot entry is on the pivot like this. So I would have barely missed getting triggered here. But notice how safe it is. I'm gonna go ahead and do this real quick. Right around 30 minutes. Yeah, we're at 30 right now. I'm gonna pretend that I entered this trade with like a normal risk, risk level. So I go beyond here, and maybe I say, okay, I can live here. There's a 134, not a big trade. Probably not going to take it because the 50 EMA is such a, the stop loss is so big here, just based on support and resistance. But notice how safe it is. Notice how safe it is to get in early after the trend changes directions. Never once was right here. I was in the red for like 1 hour, but nowhere else. Everywhere else is just, that's money. Hold it all the way till here, then you're talking 273, which really isn't shit, but that's to be honest. But it's the first trade of a combo trade where you're looking for, and so there's like these intangibles that come along with getting in early on a combo trade. If I'm watching this pair because I've got my initial position on it, I'm going to be paying attention and able to jump in on combinations on subsequent trades is what I mean. So another setup to go long, another setup to go long type of thing. And this small 2% trade turns into a 2% plus a 3% plus a 4% plus a 1% plus a 2 plus a 3 plus a 4, so on and so forth. And now you've made 15% for the month pretty easily. There's other ways you can make it easily too, obviously, but well, not easily, but this just seems to be a low risk, high probability way to do this. So that's why I like it. Yeah, let me go ahead and finish the rest of these. We're almost there, guys. If you're still watching, then you're the man. You really are. This stuff is long, so we're hanging below 50 EMA here with small candles. Small candles are my friend. It's my favorite because big candles come after small candles. Look at this, and drop. So I'm always looking to get in during small candles, not big candles, in anticipation for a large move. Daily, we're at a recent kind of low level right here. So price is kind of crowded there, jumped down, and then it kind of crowded again. We'll see where it goes from here. Maybe there's an opportunity. It looks like to go short is where I'm going to be going. Euro CHF. Again, I don't like CHF, and you can see a little bit why. Kind of messy. A little more structured than usual, but still a little messy for me. Nowhere to get in real smooth here. So I'm not trading that. Make sure I'll mark that one. Dang, I got a lot more to go. All right, here we go. Euro CAD, monthly, hanging above some key EMAs, but we're also coming up against a key horizontal resistance level. Weekly has just broke a 50 EMA. We're hanging there. Above it, MACD looks like it's trying to, roll over or roll up, I should say. Daily's kind of same thing. Look at this Mac. Look at this Mac. Look at the trend up. Look at there's kind of a trend up here, but it's not as pronounced as the MACD is like super. Anyways, so I'm gonna look for an entry here. See if there might be one to go take this higher. Not as clean as I want it to be. I'd want it to be super clean. I do like the fact that we just broke the 50 EMA on the 4-hour chart. So we're going to watch this and look for a clean entry. It's that simple, man. I think you'll notice if you're just watching this and observing that I'm not trying to force any kind of trade. You know, I never do. I mean, granted, I don't have any money in my account right now, but even with money in my account, I never stressed out about taking trades. Look at this. This is beautiful. That's a reversal if I've ever seen one. This is on the monthly chart, so you know that's a violent reversal on the daily. If we look at the daily chart, we're gonna see this represents 2 candles on the monthly, and y'all know that. So, but this is a huge move down. It's a huge leg down. So maybe I can. I'm surprised I didn't already draw fibs here, but I love drawing fibs based on that type of movement. So it's just, quick, dirty type fib level. And it lined up, man. It just does. I don't understand. I mean, I understand that it appears in nature a certain way, the ratio or whatever. But it took me a long time to get to where I was comfortable drawing it and understood what was going on. So I like to draw the leg that was the big move, and then there's a clear pullback here. So I stop here, and that's all I need is the origin of the move, which is up in here, and then the leg down. This is the leg right here. Let me draw it for you. It's this leg. That's it. That's all I need is this leg, and then I can draw it, and I can see my extended level getting touched. My extended level happened to coincide with a key resistance level. So with that type of information, this is on December 3rd. I probably could have just traded off of this. Let's look at it real quick. Let's look at December 3rd. December 3rd was this one. Yeah, I can kind of pick it out of the crowd most of the time nowadays. So I didn't have like a pull back into it. So this would have been more of a risky trade, to be honest. And there's no, pivot entry or anything. That just would have been it's a trade style that I need to really dig into and look at enough and back test it enough and understand how it moves enough to jump into this and, get in somewhere around this identified level, have a stop loss beyond it somewhere, and then take that trade from this extension to the 618, which is the next level of resistance. Okay, and that's a beautiful trade actually. So then we're still we broke it, came back through it, relaxed on the 50 EMA or the 200 EMA here. This is a 60-minute chart, and then came up against the 618, pulled back, came up against the 618. Don't know, maybe there's another pullback here. I have no idea. It's not time for trading, though. Not for me. It's not time to trade this. It is time to watch it, though, and kind of use that information to put together a position later. CHFJPY monthly, kind of sitting stagnant at a certain level. Daily, same thing. Daily's above the 50 though, which is good. My 4-hour is not above the 50. There's not enough momentum here for me to take anything anyways. That was easy. CADJPY monthly, 3 reds in a row. Weekly, pretty red as well. Since November, early November, it's been, kind of on a downward move. You'll notice that it broke a 50 EMA for the weekly chart. Then we go to the daily, and we see more of that move happening. There's a breakdown here, and You can play either side of it, to be honest, because it's on the higher time frame. So this is that breakdown. Is there a trade here? No, because there's no real like pullback to test this level and show that we're bouncing off of it. So in my opinion and how I trade, no, I'm not trading this. I am looking for something that pulls back and get in off of a pivot entry. But the only thing is when it goes sideways like this, it's so hard to fully be sure that you're going to be able to get in and have it go the direction that you think it's going to go. So I usually look for a move in the direction of the trade that I'm going to take eventually, and then a pullback, a rejection of a certain level. Then I get in with the pivot and go ahead and take it there. So I look for like a telegraphed move, more or less. This kind of rolled off. So looking at the 1 hour chart, this actually was a good enough of a pullback for you to take this short. So it's just a missed trade. And let's look at this. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green bars in a row. And then I'm able to get in. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bars, 9 bars. I could have got in here. So, yeah. That's last night on the Sunday session. And then this morning is when you get in here. And look how pronounced this is on the MACD. They're both leaning in the same direction. It's not divergence, but yeah. It's good enough for me to have traded. That's why you got to dig into all the charts, man. You go all the way in different levels and you kind of understand the whole picture. This is very red, and then the daily looks like they're slowly making their way downwards. Big move in the 4 hour. CAD, CHF. Nothing to trade here though. Yeah, there's a rollover, but there was never like a good entry opportunity there. That is what it is. Okay, almost done. AUD, I'm going to see nothing there. The weekly looks like pretty red for the past, sideways and then red, I'll say. And daily recently dipped below the 50 EMA, which is usually a pretty important level. So this looked like it was going to turn around. You can even see the MACD kind of turn in that direction. So maybe it's still supposed to turn around. I have no idea. But it broke here, stayed above that level, above recent lows. See how it's going down, and now it's kind of sideways. This is a higher high than this, and it's a higher low than this. So this is the previous low. This is a higher low is what they call that. I got that from the Infinite Prosperity guys and Irek Piekarski. So daily. There's a 4 hour. 4 hour doesn't really show me anything by way of bullish potential, and 1 hour doesn't really show anything bullish on the potential. So we're probably done there. Worth paying attention to though, because that big rollover on the higher time frame or the W shape, it looks like it might come back. This looks like it's going down. Yeah, this is definitely part of a downtrend. Let's see what the entries look like. 4 hour, we're above the 50 EMA. Not typically what I want to see. And then 1 hour, we're above the 50 EMA. So maybe we're at the very beginning stages of a turnaround. Maybe the trend's about to change. We are at a pretty low level comparatively or historically wise. Maybe it really does need to pull around here. Nothing to trade though. That's the answer is there's nothing to trade here. It is worth watching though. You have to stalk your prey. This is sniping. This trading stuff is all about sniping. This is like a little pullback, but I don't know if I feel like it's going to actually signify a turnaround. But then this intraday chart, this 1 hour chart tells me something completely different. Look at this big move, and then sideways, then big move up, and sideways. So we've got a higher low right here, higher low, higher than previous low, higher high, higher high, higher than the previous high, and then again higher than the previous high. But then this one's lower than the previous, lower than the previous. But we're staying kind of sideways. You see this like wedge shape. We're still kind of sideways. So kind of watch that one, see what happens. Monthly. Bounced off of this 200 EMA. This is the daily. Nah, I don't like that one. And you already know I'm biased on the CHF pairs, so speed through this one too. Broke a trend line. Wants to roll over. MACD says we're going down. Probably going to go down. This is on the daily. A 4 hour says we're on the opposite side of 50 EMA. It's actually shaping up to be a good trade. And we're on the opposite side of 50 EMA on the 1 hour. So this is whenever all the time frames kind of tell you, all right, we're about to bounce downwards. This is a big rejection candle for this month. That's a bearish engulfing so far, although we're only halfway through the month. We broke the trend line last week, and then we're still below the trend line that was created. Daily, we're kind of hanging below after a bearish engulfing, and then more bear. MACD divergence. This is on the daily again. We're on the opposite side of that trend line, and we actually rejected this area with very, very obvious rejection. So yeah, I'm looking for 4 hour, 1 hour opportunity to get in. Maybe this 4 hour right here could have been an opportunity. Not much of a pullback though. Nothing crazy. Nothing like blaringly obvious. I'm looking for the obvious trades. I'm looking for, hey, everything's lined up and we have like a textbook beautiful trade going on, and then we can, those are the ones I like taking, because that's the type of stuff that gets you, a 5%, 6% trade or more. And again, man, Infinite Prosperity teaches you to take these 1% trades. That's cool. I've been doing this for a while. And so I just kind of have a different requirement for whenever I'm trading. I am looking for 1%, 2% trades. You see this bounce. There's a monthly chart bounce off of extended fib. Huge engulfing channel or candle last month. And then this is the candle for December. We go to the weekly, and we see that it rejected the EMA. We rejected key level. And it looks like, even though these are green candles, it looks like we might be rejecting that some more. So then I go to the daily, and based on MACD, it looks like we're rolling over. So I pay attention to that for sure. It's worth paying attention to. Let's go here. No sideways stuff going on. Pay attention. Pay attention. Head and Shoulders, a little trashy. Head and Shoulders, not a very pretty one, but whatever. I'll take it. Drop down. Then I look for a 4 hour. There's a 4 hour. Yeah, I'm on the opposite side, so I'm on the bearish side of the EMA, the red line. So maybe I'm good to take this down. 1 hour chart says there's an entry here. This is on the 7th of December. There's already been an injury. There hasn't been one since. Looks like been kind of battered and beaten. Even getting battered and beaten, we still have a 3% trade here that red hasn't touched it at all, except for right around the time of entry, which I don't really count personally because it's like nobody knows when it's going to happen, like right at entry. Nobody knows. That's not the probability we're playing for. When we get in, we're playing for a probability that the overall trend is going to be in a certain direction. I'm looking for a move, a large move. This was a quick move. And then we had a pullback, although the pullback wasn't like pivot line, EMA on top of it type of pullback. We can take it and combo it. So I'm gonna look for more combo later there. But sorry, man, that was almost an hour. But you know, this is my process. It's not. It'd be silly for me to speed it up or act like I'm faster or tighter with it than I am. I feel like I'm tight as far as information goes. Maybe I can get a little bit more concise later. Anyways, y'all have a good day. I'll be back to kind of see how these ones that we tagged fare for the rest of the week. And this is pretty much my list for the week. Yeah, because we did like a big long time frame kind of view, so we don't really have to look at the rest of the pairs again. Yeah, so anyways, y'all have a good day.